My name is Emily Churkin, and I'm the Screentime consultant. Today we're going to be talking about myth number 2. I watched TV and video games when I was a kid, and I turned out okay. But the truth is, things are pretty different than from when we were children. So what does that mean? First, things have changed a lot about how we use technology. The iPad is less than 10 years old. The iPhone, less than 15. And when they first came out, they weren't designed for children. So when kids started using them 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was really a new world, uncharted territory. We'd never really seen what happens when children interacted with digital media over a long-term basis. And it was really different than when we were kids and we would come home from school and turn on the TV and we only had a limited number of shows to tune into, or we had to wait a week until the next episode of our favorite show would be on television. Talk about delayed gratification. For our children, this is different. They have instant gratification, instant shows, anytime they want, 24/7, and they have thousands of choices. There's truly no limit to what they can watch. But is that necessarily a good thing? I want to talk a little bit about the research of Dr. Jenny Radesky. I really admire her, and one of the things that she talks about is the difference between traditional play and tech-supported types of play. She identified 4 key ways. In the first way, in digital games, the app designer is in control of what the play looks like. In traditional play, between 2 children and a pile of blocks or dolls or trucks, the children are in charge of how the play goes. Tech-based play doesn't support individual thinking and creativity. It might direct it and guide it, but it doesn't invite it. We also have to be careful about the habit of using screens to keep children quiet or busy. Part of traditional play for children is learning how to regulate emotions and problem solve. Technology-based play doesn't support that. And another way that it's different is that digital games are attention grabbing. Unstructured play is attention building. These have dramatic impacts on our kids' ability to focus. Another thing that's different about digital play versus traditional play is external versus internal rewards. In digital play, external rewards include things like points or coins or tokens. We're driving to get more of those. This is, of course, part of persuasive design, which I'll talk about in other videos. But the rewards of traditional play are internal, and they're social, and they have lasting benefits as children learn to persevere through struggle and problem solve, skills that will really matter later in life. Another way apps are different from traditional play is that apps and games are usually designed for solitary play. They don't invite others to join in the way traditional play does. Social play allows for shared experiences, and that builds social and emotional skills. Another way that technology is really different for our children from our childhood is that even the way we consume technology is different. Historically, we might sit on the couch once a week with our families and watch a show together. Now, we're holding devices or tablets, and our heads and necks are bent forward and tipped down. Physically, it's a very different experience. Another change is the expectation about when we have it. As I mentioned, we used to have to wait a week to see the next episode. Now it's 24/7 and on demand. Kids don't have a sense of delayed gratification for watching the next episode. Additionally, where we consume screen time has changed. It's very mobile now. If you think about even 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, we weren't handing out our phones in the grocery store in line to occupy our toddlers. In 2011, 4% of screen time was on mobile devices. By 2017, 35% of screen time is on mobile devices. And the average time spent watching online videos has doubled since 2015. Finally, how and where we consume screens has changed, also with whom we view them. Sherry Turkle, MIT professor and author, talks about this in her book, Alone Together. A lot of times, screen time, family time, is sitting on a couch, everyone staring at their own devices. That's not the same thing as when we were kids. All of these things have impacts on our cognitive, mental, physical, and emotional health. There are things we can do about it. One thing we can do is prioritize sleep. There's no question that sleep deprivation tremendously impacts our ability to do almost anything. Ask any new parent. Another thing we can do is to limit tech to go. We can be intentional about when we hand the iPad or the iPhones over in the grocery store lines or in the car. We can be more intentional about now we're watching a show or now we're going to the grocery store and we aren't going to bring the phone with us. Another thing is to consider the hammer. I had a parent tell me once that he thinks of his smartphone like a hammer, that a hammer is a tool we use to build things, but we don't drive with it on the front seat of our car and we don't put it on the side of our bed at night, and we don't bring it in the bathroom with us or set it on the dinner table. We have to think of our phones as a tool, much like a hammer, and think about where we bring it and why. So things have changed a lot since we were kids, and technology today is not the same at all the way it was for us when we were kids. In our next video, we're going to talk about the myth that my kid can make good choices about screen time and I trust my child. For more and for the complete series of these videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.